So I felt like making a video about Ape Escape lore because, I don't know, if you thought I had an hyperfixation on Sonic, well, there's much worse. There's Ape Escape, what probably is my favorite video game franchise of all time. Yes, much more than Sonic and Mario. You could in fact say that I am an Ape Escape enjoyer. Played the games, watched most of the anime, or even the Teen Titans Go-like cartoon. But we're not gonna talk about the cartoon. We are here to talk about the Ape Escape lore. Yes, Ape Escape has actual lore, and nobody is talking about it. They'd rather talk about Garfield or the rabbits, but not Ape Escape. But the thing is that there is so much material to talk about that it's gonna take 2 parts. Part 2 will happen later. You know what? I have a very stupid idea for the credits. Now to begin our journey in chronological order. Also, stuff like Ape West or Monkey Racing probably aren't canon, but we'll get to much crazier games. So hang on tight. Ape Escape 1. It probably has the simplest lore. The professor has been working on many projects, including a time machine as well as the Peak People helmet. For his experiments, he pretty much uses monkeys, including Spectre, which used to belong to the zoo. So every monkey got their Peak People helmet, which would allow them to be much more intelligent, including Spectre, who became evil because of it. So for some reason, the other monkeys started following him. So he uses the already completed time machine from the professor and then goes back in time. Fortunately, Spike arrives and pretty much starts catching apes, using some of the gadgets that the professor created in order to bring them back to their kind of monkey paradise. It's only established in the second game and in the anime that the place where monkeys reside, Monkey Heaven, can sort of neutralize people helmets, but the anime is its own canon, and we will deal with the Ape Escape 2 lore later. It smells like rushed game development. As you use the gadgets that the professor invented, which I wouldn't be surprised that the gadgets would be made a course of the game, hence why the professor only gives you a gadget at a certain time. He also makes the training room, so that's probably a lot of work. There's also this AI girl called Casey, but we'll talk about her much later. For now, she's just there, with the only role being that she can slightly guide Spike. As for Spectre, he has grown so powerful that he can possess humans, hence why Jake ends up being possessed, and ends up bringing Jake's negative feelings for Spike. Maybe he got the time to invent such a technology. Either way, Spectre kind of kidnaps Natalie as well as the professor, and you kind of end up in the future, where he has decided to build Spectre Land. So you try catching him, but you know, it's not the true ending yet. So he escapes, but then you catch him anyways, and to the zoo he goes. Either way, then we get People Saru 2001, in which the only thing that needs to be established is that the monkeys need to get their pens cleaned. That's literally all this game is relevant for. It's mostly because in Ape Escape 2, the plot is that the monkeys need new pens, and accidentally while sending new pens, Jimmy has also accidentally sent Peak People helmets, which conveniently Spectre was there, so he's about to conquer the world again. Another thing that's established is that Spectre remodeled his own helmet by himself. That's how smart he is. Either way, he uses vitamin Z bananas in order to transform some of these monkeys into the Freaky Monkey 5 in order to conquer the world again. However, the thing is that Jimmy has People-Chi at his side. People-Chi is a baby monkey who has received the people helmet, making him smarter. He also has wings for some reason, which are never established. But the thing is that the professor is absent from the first part of the game. He has been busy at the casino. Also, for some reason, he takes People-Chi. He apparently gets kidnapped because Wine Monkey, the scientist person, in order to transfer the data into the lethal laser. Yep, that happens. But after rescuing People-Chi, the yellow monkey kind of eats a lot of Vita Z bananas, and boom, that makes him giant. I say him, but you know, there's a lot of things about Yellow Monkey I can't get into, like the old censorship thing. But then Jimmy catches Spectre and boom, that's the end of the game, eh? But actually, there's something else. There are these monkey fables that you collect, and none of them feel like they're actual stories from actual monkeys at first. But then you get to the last story, where Spike discovers that the world has been overrun by monkeys, and one of them is reading Monkeyrella, which is the first of the many monkey fables. So that means that every other fable in the monkey fables is a fictional work written by the monkeys from this last fable. What? Either way, Spike discovers that everyone is gone, and apparently the culprit is none other than Spectre Jr., who is the current Spectre's son who traveled back in time in order to conquer the world. But then Spike is offered help from a mysterious stranger who is apparently Spectre Sr., or the future version of our current Spectre, who asks his grandson to stop, and then things go back to normal. This is insane, and why was it hidden? Holy carp! This could have been a standalone game, but nope. Just a monkey fable, which I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it was canon. Like Metal Gear. No, we'll get there. Also, did you notice that the time machine is absent? Maybe the professor just didn't make another one. And now we move on to the side series, which consists of 2 games and is done by a different development team, with the first being Ape Escape Pumped and Primed. For some reason, Spectre has escaped again, and I don't know. In this alternate series, he's just a recurring villain. Either way, Spike and the gang are invited to a high-tech tournament set within a virtual world for some reason. Also, apparently, an old friend of the professor created it, so that's something to consider for later. Either way, Spectre is there along with his monkeys. Oh, and also Jake is possessed again. And there's also Helga, who is apparently on a mission, as well as the mysterious Peopletrons, who are some monkeys who we'll talk about later again. The thing is that the game doesn't have that many before the end of the tournament, but there are intermissions in which there is a lot of special lore. We'll go from the least insane to the most insane. For example, Casey's music video kind of shows that she can experiment a lot in this virtual space, and surprisingly that becomes relevant much later, when she actually becomes the AI of a virtual world. Yes, you heard me right. Mean the heck while, the professor gets an interview where we discover that it's an old friend of his who made the virtual world, and that he used to make a lot of experiments with him. He also shows what's apparently a bomb? What we learn about the Pipotron intermissions is that they apparently escaped from a lab where they were experimented on by a scientist. The fate of the scientist is probably unknown. But later, they infiltrate the home of another scientist, but the scientist has created a lot of robots in order to protect himself. Could the scientist and the professor have worked together on such creatures? Probably yes. Either way, he gets found by the monkeys, and his fate is left unknown for now. Meanwhile, in Elga's intermission, she reminisces about a past event that happened. We can see this is a past event because she changed clothes, where basically we discovered that the scientist from the second Peopletron intermission was actually Elga's father, and her finding her father's recording kind of helps too. But the thing that we don't know yet is that apparently her father is still fine. She was just very traumatized by this kind of event, because I think it all happened when she was in the tournament last year, and it's probably why she recognized the Peopletron at the beginning of the game. But yeah, now that we're done with the intermission, also a small thing to note is that the characters can't really get injured, at least since the game takes place in a virtual world. But yeah, Spectre's giant robot is back from the first game and gets beaten up again. However, one interesting fact to note is that apparently Spectre does not know about the Peopletrons, so that's a hint about their origins. So, when you beat the tournament, the Peopletrons will either use the trophy or just steal the trophy from whoever won and use it. There is literally no difference. But once they break that trophy, something unusual happens. There was a disc inside the trophy, and Elga apparently knows about its existence too. Once the disc is freed, apparently there's a voice that we don't really know about, who takes control of the high-tech virtual world and use it to control the world or something. Oh, and also he does not need the Peopletrons, by the way, now. And also he somehow trapped everyone in this virtual world and created a tournament for them to die in. He also corrupts Spectre and Jake, and they pretty much have to fight. He also straight up has cloned the Peopletrons. So yeah, the disc is pretty powerful. It also appears that the voice can use the disc in order to control the core. So pretty much when everyone beats the core, the whole system is about to explode. But remember what I said about Casey earlier? Well, she's even more powerful than what I thought, because she can teleport everyone back to the main world and make pretty much everything go back to normal. Yup, that's how powerful Casey is. I wonder if that'll affect the future. Either way, even Jake goes back to normal and everyone is happy. Except for the Peopletrons, because, you know, they kinda got betrayed. Also, apparently Spike has a crush on Elga? And Spectre waves goodbye to the Peopletrons even though he doesn't know them, as a mark of respect? Probably. Also, we learned that Elga's father is still alive, and pretty much at the end of the credits, she talks to him. So that's a bit of a relief for now. Either way, there's Ape Escape Academy that establishes that Spectre has created an academy, but just for monkeys. You learn to become the ultimate monkey, and yeah, that's kinda it. That's it. That's all it's relevant for. Now on to Ape Escape 3. Yumi and Kei live with their aunt Aki. Kei loves baseball so much that he always wears his uniform, while Yumi is an actual pop star with a new single out. So apparently they live with their aunt, although I'm not sure about that. Either way, according to Natalie, the monkeys have invaded the TVs of the world. And remember when there was this lethargy laser in Ape Escape 2? Well, there's the lethargy program in this game. Either way, the Professor Spike and Jimmy have all been watching the same TV program and are now hypnotized. So it's up to Kei and Yumi to save the world. So they get sent a gotcha net as well as a monkey. And it's just the tutorial area. Either way, after that we discover that Spectre has been working with the Dr. Tamuki. Because Yukiki is the noise that monkeys make in Japanese. So we have Dr. Tamuki. But for some reason in the English US version, it's translated as Dr. Tomoki. Go figure. Either way, he's 28, he's single, he has an IQ of 1300. is 6'4" including afro, weighs 140 pounds including afro, and whose favorite word is perfect. Yep, that's Dr. Tamuki. Either way, there are 5 satellite dishes or whatever, who are each guarded by a freaky monkey 5, so the 2 children have to beat the snot out of them. Also, Aki and Dr. Tamuki know each other. That's interesting. Either way, Monkey White was supposed to star in an Hollywood film, but he got caught. Monkey Blue is in love with Monkey Pink, but he gets caught. Monkey Yellow says she is female, but is actually a male. It's not like trans people exist or anything. The whole trans thing was censored in the US version anyways, and is also quite jealous of Yumi, to the point that she tells her that her record went platinum, which means it has sold 1 million copies, and also flirts with Kay. Since she is wearing a sumo garb, I wouldn't say this is the first time I've seen a sumo hit on a, minor. Either way, she gets caught, so it's all good. Meanwhile, Monkey Pink also hates Yumi because she's a pop star. And let's just say that she has an explosive personality, so she escapes. But since the satellite dish is down, well, it's okay, I'm sure it's okay. Ren Monkey just gets caught, so it's time to go get Spectre, who is in the Tamuki Tower. So they go in the Tamuki Tower, and he is about to reveal the big plan, the twin heavens, but then Spectre interrupts him. Okay, cool. And we have to fight him. But before we talk about after the fight, I need to look at one of the intermissions. So in this pumped and primed intermission, Spike plays some basketball with the monkeys until he gets put on a people helmet. That wouldn't happen in the actual in-game lore, would it? It is revealed that Tamuki has a people helmet on, hence why he has an IQ of 1300. And apparently it's because of experiments by Aki and the professor. We don't get a lot of details about this experiment, but probably because of that he got his people helmet stuck on his head. So yeah, Spectre laughs at him because he didn't know about it apparently, but Kay defends him, so he's on our side now. So they go to Spectre's base in space, right behind the moon. And then Spectre tells us about, the Twin Heavens plan. Basically, he wants to chop the planet in half and keep one half for himself and give the other half to the humans so they can fight over the territory. He was supposed to give the second half to Dr. Tomoki, but, let's just say that Kay and Yumi, even they find this plan to be stupid. Because, oxygen moment. So they catch Spectre and the Dr. Tomoki sacrifices himself in order to block the karate chop. But don't worry, this isn't the last time we're seeing him. Also, even Dr. Tomoki's robots stay by his side, which is kinda sweet. And all is done until Monkey Pink decides to, free everyone, so you have to use the monkey costume in order to get the true ending. Okay, then Spectre is sorry, then he is not sorry, then we fight him. Also, Dr. Tomoki is part of the family now. While I could theorize about how Aki and Dr. Tamuki are just, in love and are probably Kay and Yumi's parents, I don't know, I'm not sure. Anyways, now that we talk about that, we have to talk about the Metal Gear minigame. Remember that one part in Pumped and Primed where we saw the professor discussing with an actual human? Well, apparently Ape Escape is canon to the Metal Gear universe. Either way, we are not going to get into the Metal Gear Solid plot. All you need to know is that it takes place during Metal Gear Solid 3, which means it takes place during the 1960s. So I think this is a Super Mario Odyssey situation where, Mario lives in a land and humans just live in another one. So we can pretend that technology evolved much more in the Ape Escape land, while in the rest of the world it's still in the 60s. Okay? Alright? Okay. So basically, Roy Campbell is an old friend of the professor, and he needed some help. Because basically, Solid Snake went ahead to defeat the Metal Gear, but apparently he disappeared. And since the Metal Gear is guarded by monkeys, he wanted to ask some help from the professor, so that the kids would go and catch some apes. Because the monkeys who made the Metal Gear and its lazy laser cannon are asking for 10 billion bananas, or else they will fire the laser. But as it turns out, everyone who can catch apes are out on a summer camp, so no, they cannot just go straight up catch every monkey. But then the professor has an idea. There were a lot of test training Snake went through, so why not use this battle data and upload it on a monkey, so that the monkey could go on a mission? Also, apparently the professor's nickname is Stonehead. So as Monkey Snake starts the mission, he is contacted by Solid Snake. And Solid Snake kind of wants to meet him. Too bad he kind of gets captured, as well as tortured. So you beat Metal Gear, beat Monkey Ocelot, and there you go, Snake goes back to normal. And this is canon to Ape Escape and Metal Gear Solid. That's the worst part. Now we move on to the final part of this series, because Saru Big Mission doesn't really count, and also the Ape Escape reboot of the Ape Escape move also has its own lore, but whatever, it's not the same canon anyways. Ape Escape Million Monkeys takes place in a virtual world, again, and while the residences aren't completed, apparently Casey is the AI of this virtual world, yet she was chosen for this. And she is so powerful that she's everywhere. But uh-oh, there's a battleship in the sky and there are monkeys in it with guns and military outfits. So the military is trying to fight the monkeys, but they kind of fail because of the robot. And the news zoom in to see that, ooh, Spectre was behind this. Or is he? And there are other Pippotrons, which look way different, but for some reason Helga recognizes them. But actually, the real Spectre was chilling on the beach and saw this in the news. So he takes a break from his vacation and goes to kick their butt. And he's gonna convince the monkeys, oh wait, nobody believes that he is the real Spectre. So whatever, time to go catch some monkeys. Same thing for Spike and the gang also. So the monkeys take over the world, to the point where there are actual incidents with bananas, and there are banana warnings. So 43 countries have united in order to form the Anti-Monkeys World Defense. And it's led by David Williams. Also, there's a damage trailer and also some kind of monkey base. And that concludes the report from NSB News. So I guess the entirety of this story takes place in the virtual world, but I'm not sure. Either way, Spectre fights the fake Spectre, and apparently it's some kind of Pippotron. And the guy who is leading them, I think, is the same bad guy as Ape Escape Pumped and Primed, but I'm not sure at this point. So the bad guy uses the Pippotron as fuel or something, as he probably thought the Pippotron was better than alive. Pippotron G tries to stop him, but Pippotron J is like, nope, I think this guy can help us. So they run away as Spectre has to battle Spike. But then Pippotron J knocks out Spectre, and boom, you gotta fight him. But oh no, earthquake! So I guess he protects them, and yep, they run away, leaving Pippotron J to die. Then our characters go in a virtual space, where they're trapped with another Casey who has been corrupted by a virus created by one of the Pippotrons. So you have to beat a whole lot of Caseys. because apparently our Casey was not connected to the internet, hence why she has not been corrupted yet. Since we all have defeated the Caseys, Mr. McBadGuy is mad and turns the Pipotron into some kind of energy. This energy would allow him to blow up the entire ship. As he tries to blow up the ship, the Pipotron J kind of strangles him, and when McBadGuy kind of tries to shoot him, he absorbs the energy and transfers him to the bad guy, ending both of them off screen. What? What? Everyone else escapes from the ship, but as the ship crashes, there is some purple goo. Either way, the news report says that there is some anti-monkey propaganda by David Williams. And civilians are learning how to catch monkeys. While the women are learning how to capture monkeys, the men are making monkey traps. Wow, I mean, wow. So apparently the purple goo created mutants, but also Helga is trying to stop the 3 monkey towers with a sprained ankle. So we gotta help her. And also protect a trailer that the Pipotrons can drive in. Yes, the OG Pipotrons are back and they know how to drive. And also the trailer has a special weapon which can defeat the mutants. But as for the last report, People Monkeys have garnered a fan base. Yep, the monkeys have a fan base. And that's all the news report is relevant for, because we beat the blob and the game just ends. That's it. That's all. No other resolution, no other cutscenes, nothing. And that's all the Ape Escape lore I can endure. I absolutely had a blast making this video, and I hope you had a blast watching too. So yeah, please like and subscribe.